Interaction of logical and emotive meanings, epithet. Epithet is a lexical stylistic device that relies on the foregrounding of the emotive meaning. The emotive meaning of the word is foregrounded to suppress the denotational meaning of the letter. The epithet is based on the interplay of emotive and logical meaning in an attributive word, phrase, or even sentence, used to characterize an object and pointing out to the reader some of the properties or features of the object, with the aim of giving an individual perception and evaluation of these features or properties. The characteristic attached to the object to qualify is always chosen by the speaker himself. Epithet gives opportunities of qualifying every object from subjective viewpoint, which is indispensable in creative prose, publicist style, and everyday speech. From the point of view of the compositional structure, epithets may be divided into simple, adjectives, nouns, participles. For example, he looked at them in animal panic. Compound, for example, apple-faced man. Sentence and phrase epithets, for example, it is his do-it-yourself attitude. Reversed epithets, composed of two nouns linked by an off phrase, for example, a shadow of a smile. Like metaphor, metonymy, and simile, epithets are also based on similarity between two objects or nearness of the qualified objects and on their comparison. Through long and repeated use, epithets become fixed. Semantically, there should be differentiated two main groups. The biggest one is affective epithets. These epithets serve to convey the emotional evaluation of the object by the speaker. Most of qualifying words found in the dictionary can be and are used as affective epithets. The second group, that is figurative epithets. The group is formed of metaphors, metonymies, and similes and expressed predominantly by adjectives. For example, the smiling sun, the frowning cloud. Qualitative adverbs, for example, his triumphant look, or rarely by nouns in exclamatory sentences, for example, you ostrich, and postpositive attributes, for example, Richard of the Lion Heart. And now about interjections and exclamatory words. Interjections are words we use when we express our feelings strongly and which may be said to exist in language as conventional symbols of human emotions. Interjection is a word with strong emotive meaning. They can express different emotions: sadness, despair, joy, regret, fright, reproach, disgust, disapproval, astonishment, sarcasm, admiration, etc. One and the same interjection is apt to express different emotions. For example, the interjection "oh" by itself may express various feelings such as regret, despair, disappointment, sorrow, surprise, and many others. So what are the examples of exclamatory words? Interjections such as heavens, good gracious, God knows, bless me are exclamatory words, generally used as interjections. It must be noted that some adjectives and adverbs can also take on the function of interjections, such as terrible, awful, great, wonderful, splendid. These adjectives acquire strong emotional coloring and are equal in force to interjections. And now about oxymoron. Oxymoron is a lexical stylistic device that combines two normally contradictory terms. Oxymoron is a Greek word, oxy, sharp or pointed, and moros, dull. Thus the word oxymoron is itself an oxymoron. Its syntactic and semantic structures come to clashes, for example, cold fire, noisy silence, etc. The most common form of oxymoron involves an adjective-noun combination. For example, The following line contains two oxymorons, and face unfaithful kept him falsely true. The most widely known structure of oxymoron is attributive, but there are also others in which verbs are employed. Such verbal structures as to shout mutely or to cry silently are used to strengthen the idea. Often a writer will use an oxymoron in order to deliberately call attention to a contradiction. Some examples of deliberate oxymorons include deafening silence, forward retreat, accidentally on purpose, little big man, etc. Oxymorons are most tellingly employed in injecting a sense of ironic, ostensibly unintended humor. The effect is to confront the reader or the listener with a sense of ludicrousness so as to render the whole sentence and the idea absurd and funny. Very often, the labeling of an expression as a perceived oxymoron is made on the basis of substituting an alternative, non-intended meaning for the meaning normally intended in the context of the expression in question. For example, in the expression civil war, the term civil is normally intended to mean between citizens of the same state. In this sense, the expression is neither paradox nor self-contradictory. However, if civil is construed as non-military or reasonable and polite, the expression is a contradiction in terms. As one satirist said, the American Civil War was fought politely. Such designations of alleged oxymorons are often made with a humorous purpose. Alternatively, an oxymoron may occur when a word or phrase changes meaning. Few people today pay attention to the inherent contradiction in drinking from a plastic glass. The word glass is commonly used to refer to any cup from which one can drink. Originality and specificity of oxymorons becomes especially evident in non-attributive structures, which also not infrequently are used to express semantic contradiction, as in the street was damaged by improvements, silence was louder than thunder. Oxymorons rarely become trite, for their components, linked forcibly, repulse each other and oppose repeated use. There are few colloquial oxymorons. All of them show a high degree of the speaker's emotional involvement in the situation, as in awfully pretty, for example.